Hello all, I'm Ray Zwiebelhofer, the president of World Software Corporation, makers of Worldox. Thank you today for joining our webinar. Seems a little redundant, I say this every Friday, but new audience here. So we, with the lockdowns and pandemic and the lack of travel and everything, we just thought it would be a really good time to nurture and educate our client base. We've chosen some really close and unique partners that integrate with Worldox, and I and my team really believes that adding value to what you have and helping you in these times with certain solutions are very important. We find firms are not necessarily looking to buy all new software per se, but the core software they have, such as Worldox, they're looking to maximize the value, and certainly solution you see today will do that. So Brian, hi Brian, say hi.
Hi Ray, how are things? You're well?
Good. Yeah, all is well. Brian has become a good friend over the years, and I've had opportunity to spend time with him in his lovely home country of Ireland with he and his wife, and it was very lovely and really nice to talk to you here today, Brian. And that's all I had to say. Take care and be safe. And Hella, you have it from here.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Ray. I'm Hella Schwartz-Grossman, Marketing Manager at Worldox, and welcome to today's webinar. Before we get started, just a few housekeeping items. The webinar will be recorded and the link will be emailed to you afterwards. Everyone is muted, but if you have any questions, go ahead and type them into the GoToWebinar questions pane, and then we'll address any questions at the end of the webinar. Today we are joined by BundleDocs, our partner, and our speaker today is Brian Kenneally. He's the founder and CEO of BundleDocs, a cloud-first document collation and collaboration solution. Brian is an IT specialist and has been involved in the design of legal case workflows, chiefly in litigation, conveyance, and debt collection areas for many years. Join Brian today as he shows you how you can take documents from anywhere, your folder, case, or document management system, and then have BundleDocs organize them into a neat, numbered, indexed, and sectioned booklet in minutes, instantly ready to save, share, or print. No matter how big or small, you can change it in seconds. Simple, easy to use, time-saving, and massively efficient. Thank you in advance for the attention you'll be giving this webinar today. And Brian, I'm handing it over to you, all yours.
Thanks, Hella, and thanks, Ray. Hi, everybody. Good afternoon or evening where I am. Just in terms of background, just to let you know that I'm based in the south of Ireland, based in Cork. So I hope you don't struggle with my accent, that you can understand what I'm saying. So I'll try and speak as clearly as possible. But let's take it as it is. As I say, in today's webinar, what I'm going to focus on is the software that we produce here, and the software is, as Hella said, is called BundleDocs. For those who are unfamiliar with it, what BundleDocs does is we take documents from various sources, and I mean an obvious one today is obviously from Worldox, and from these we collate and produce professional bundles or briefs. We call them briefs, we call them bundles, we call them binders. Now, naturally, once you upload these documents, everything is customizable, and the completed bundle or brief can be sent to anyone, or alternatively, you can grant access to view, to third parties themselves. So you have two options: you can send it, or you can invite people onto the platform to view it themselves. Now, the typical cases that we find that people use the product for are obviously civil litigation, things like personal injury, employment law, family law. We also have lots of commercial practices use the product to create commercial deal bibles, and obviously real estate are the obvious ones. So what I'll do is I'll just kick into just show you the product. But just if you're unsure of what I'm about to produce, I'll start at the very end if you don't mind. And what I'll do is I'll just show you a typical output of what BundleDocs produces is what I basically have is a PDF document which happens to be indexed. If I click on the index, you can see it's indexed. It's obviously, I can search the content by hitting Control F. So it's a searchable document. It's paginated. It's hyperlinked, so the contents within my index are hyperlinked to the actual documents, and it's bookmarked. So the product is all about producing these customizable briefs and bundles. So that's the output, and that's what we aim to get to today. So I'm going to go through that process. So skipping back here and just explain also where I am. I'm at home, like yourselves, locked down. So I'm on my PC. I don't have Worldox on my PC, but I've an RDP into the office in town here where I do have Worldox. So what I'm going to do is I'll upload documents from, let's say Windows Explorer, but I'll also show you how I can upload documents from Worldox as well, because remember, you can take them from any source. So going back to the beginning, if you look at it, it's a cloud-based product, and all that simply means you have to go to a website. We go to BundleDocs.com, and as a user, you do have to sign into the platform or to the product. Now, how you sign in terms of the device you use or the browser you use, we couldn't care less. It makes no difference. You can simply sign on. Now, there are things like federated long single sign-ons, but to keep this simple, you simply sign in. So just to save us all about 2 seconds, I have a tab open and I'll simply sign on with my credentials. So the idea is when you're using a product like this is when you sign into your home page. And here, this is my home page as I redraw it here, and just explain a few things in my home page. And the first thing is in terms of internal security, how security is built into BundleDocs. We use a model known as pessimistic security. It sounds very sad. All that actually means is that if you create something in BundleDocs, the default is nobody in the world gets to see it unless you decide to share. And how we share bundles internally is we create teams, and team members share bundles. So if you're, let's say, a member of the PI team or the family team, and you create a bundle, then other members in your team get to work on that bundle as well. So it's internal collaboration. So if you look here, these are bundles I've either previously created or somebody who's a member of my team has created and has allowed me access. So a few small things on the homepage. Clicking this logo always brings you back home. Over here on the right hand side, we have an online manual. We keep it pretty much up to date. Remember, it's a cloud-based product, so it's a single manual. The reality of manuals we've found nowadays is people don't read them anymore, but that's okay. We're used to that. So the way we get around that is we use online chat. So if you're using a product like this and you want to find out something about it, or you're in trouble, or you need to find out information, you can talk to us directly here through online chat. The other way it's gone, if I just briefly check it, if you go into BundleDocs, the website itself, and go down to the very base of it, there's a YouTube channel here, and what we found is what we have is a load of little videos and playlists. So if you click on the videos tab, the videos tab gives you a whole series of they're 1-2 minute videos to allow, to show users various things you can do. Like for instance, if you want to know how to move documents in BundleDocs, if you want to redact, use annotations, combine files, all various things. They're all 1 minute, 2 minute videos. It's a lot faster way of finding out information than trying to, say, comb through a manual. The only difference in videos and playlists is all about, it's a compilation of videos which have something in common. So just be aware that in terms of support, there's manual, there's contact us directly where you can talk to us directly, or we tend to use YouTube videos. And again, you can fall back on email and everything else like that. But going back to my main page, these are bundles, as I said, that I've previously created. And at the base of this, and we might touch on this later in the webinar, is the idea of templating. When you start producing bundles and you work in a certain area of law, whether it's PI, whether it's family or whatever, or real estate, you tend to produce bundles in a particular style or structure, and you tend to do it repetitively. If you come across that scenario, then you're better off creating a template, and a template saves your users time because it presets up folders, it customizes it, it presets up numbering styles or Bates numbering. It does the kind of standard stuff we want to do in the particular area of law that we're working in. We'll come back to templates later. So going back up to the top. Now, when we designed this offer first, we looked initially at courts here in the south of Ireland. We looked at our civil courts, we've district, circuit and high, and we looked at how people combine, how people manually created these bundles and binders and produced documents and bound them eventually. So we looked at the manual process, and what we did is we broke down the manual process into an electronic process, and in that process we identified 5 steps along the way. So what I'm going to do is run through these 5 steps to show you how I produce these bundles. Now, step 5 traditionally was printing a bundle, which was the obvious one to do in the good old days, let's say. Step 5 nowadays means we've lots of other options in terms we could forward it to court, we could still print it, but we can do lots of things. So what I'll do is I'll step through this whole process. So the very first thing I do is I need to create one of these workspaces. So to create a workspace, you click this big button here. It says new bundle. Typically, as legal people, we tend to type in a client matter code and we describe the case. So I'll type in woods versus the trees. So I give it a case description or a matter description, whatever type of matter it is, and we tend to give it a unique case code, and we simply click create. So all we're actually doing is creating a workspace. Now, when you create a workspace, it appears top of your list. And if there's members that you have in your team, you've automatically shared with them now as well. So they can collate or they can work with you on this bundle as well. So it's available to your team members as well as you. So that's step one in this 5-step process. Now I click to go into it. Now in this workspace, and because I've created from nothing, in other words, I did not use a template, there's absolutely nothing inside here. So what I have in fact is I have 6 buttons and I have a folder, and the folder is pretty badly named, but we'll worry about that in a minute. But in terms of this 5-step process, users tend to use these 4 buttons here and in the order they appear. So step 2, step 3, step 4, and step 5 in this 5-step process. And again, in terms of usability, obviously if you hover over something for something like, I don't know, half a second, it obviously should tell you what it does. But again, I'll step through each of these. But the first thing I will do is I'll rename this folder or section to something more logical. Typically what we would call this is, this could be say a pleadings folder. So this is a pleadings folder. Now this guy here in the top left, which is step 2 of the 5-step process, allows me to create these folders. And again, there's no limits in this. So I click on this guy. So yes, POND, it's correspondence and so on. So correspondence, reports, whatever, and there's no limit. So I can create as many as I want. So that's step 2, quite simple. Step 3 is uploading. We can upload from various sources. So I'm going to do 2 uploads here in a minute. I'm going to upload locally because I am local here, and then I'll step into Worldox, let's say in the office, and I'll upload files directly from Worldox, and I'll actually prove that it is a cloud-based product because I'm taking documents from 2 different sources from 2 different locations into the same case, let's say. So the first thing I'll do is I'll upload documents. Now into my pleadings folder, I'm going to say choose documents that I want to upload, and I'm going to pick documents from say my network drive. Now I have different options if I have cloud-based products, but I'm going to say choose a bunch of documents that I've say stored locally or whatever. I grab these documents and I begin uploading. Now what's important about the upload process is that we do 2 things. One, we keep a copy of the original document in its original format and store that in Worldox. The second thing we do with every single document is we automatically convert those documents into PDFs, regardless of the source. So whether they're emails, whether they're Word documents, whether they're Excel sheets, we convert each in turn to a PDF because it's the PDF is what we tend to use to create our bundle. So you can see these documents have been uploaded successfully. They've turned green. If I click close, I can go back in and I can see my documents are here. Now again, I'll upload some more documents from Worldox in a few minutes. But just to give you an idea, like these are my documents here uploaded. A few small things to note is if I want to preview or read the content of any document, I simply click on this preview button on the left hand side and I can read it like anything else. Now, if any of you use wide screens, and again, I'm on a laptop, so I don't have a wide screen, you click on a button here and it snaps into place. And as a fee earner, I can click on any document and it allows me to preview it. Now, alternatively, I can go forwards and backwards here, click forward to the next document, or I could select a particular document that I may want to read. And that's the idea there. This is very basic stuff. If I upload emails, and if those emails have attachments, then it will upload the email and also the attachment, but the attachment document will upload as a subset document. In other words, the email here is 1.3, the attached document is a subset of it, so it's 1.3.1. If something's in the wrong place, I can simply drag it and drop it. So you can see that I just dragged that email from this position down here to here. So let's say I want to drag this notice of trial, I simply grab it by the icon, I'm dragging it slowly, and I take it to the top, and I just let it go. So it means that I could take that defense document and drag that guy down here, and I could move this. So you can see how quickly it is to move documents around the place. Now you'll notice when you move stuff around the place, the numbering goes completely out of kilter. If I click save now, it automatically re-indexes. So the idea is that that indexation, pagination, numbering, all that we can forget about because it will do it automatically. Now obviously I could take that defense document and fire that under correspondence. You can see 1.9 here. If I click save, it becomes 2.1 under section B or section 2. Now, again, going back to these YouTube videos and various ways of moving things, there's lots of ways of moving documents in bulk as well in BundleDocs. So one other example, let's say I want to move these 5 documents together in one go below this defense document. One example here is I could go over here on the right hand side. I click this button here. I hold the shift key down and select the last button, and these guys are all highlighted now. All I have to do is click on that defense icon here like that. They all follow. I click save and they re-index, and that's the idea. So all I'm doing is I'm preparing a bundle at this stage. So as I go along, other things I can do, if I want to rename a document, I simply type in what I want to call the document. Now again, the documents you're taking from Worldox or from any source, the name of the document is crucial, because the name of the document is what we will use to generate our index. So a good naming convention does help, but if you need to rename any document, you simply just type in what you want to do with it, or what you want to call it. Other things you may want to do in preparation for the bundle or brief you're presenting is, if you preview any document, if I preview this civil bill, up in the top left here, if I click on this thumbnail view, I get a thumbnail view of my document, which is an obvious one. For any fee earner, it means that I can select, and read any page. But if I double click a page or pages, I select those pages. When I select a page or pages, they're green. When they're green, it means I want to do something with them. And I have a various set of options here. For instance, I don't know, let's say you scan this image upside down for whatever reason, then I can rotate the whole thing 180 degrees or whatever. Or you may have certain pages that you may want to change from landscape to portrait or portrait to landscape. So you can rotate any page or pages. If I want to reorder, I can drag this page into the middle here and select reorder to reorder. If I want to remove some pages or remove some content, I select what I want to remove and simply select reduce. Again, you may have a thread in an email, or the last page in a scanned image tends to be blank or whatever. You can remove documents. If I need to split this PDF up into multiple PDFs, I can do that. So again, this could be a letter enclosing a document, and I could split it in two. Or somebody may have sent you a PDF containing lots of documents, then we can split those out into their constituent parts. To de-skew says, if you ever seen scanned images where the documents happen to be leaning left or leaning right, to de-skew a document squares it up. It makes it more presentable, because remember, with electronic bundling, you do want to be able to search the content. So you do want to make the content, you want to be able to read it as well as search the content, so you can de-skew. So just be aware, this guy allows you to manipulate the documents in preparation for the bundle. One other item actually, which is worth considering, if I click the home button here, and if I edit my case in question here, and if I go to advanced, down here it says show document date and screen. I can set that from no to yes. Now, when I'm saying is I want to display a document date. So if I update, and if I go back in, it's now going to display a document date. And just by the way, in terms of the date that I'm displaying, it's European date format, but you can have any style of format. Obviously, you'd have your style of format. So you can see I've day, month, year instead of month, day, year. But the idea is that when you display a date, the date it displays is the last edit date of your document, or it's the sent or receive date of an email. So if you upload your documents from Worldox, which I'll do in a minute, it keeps those dates, and that's important. Now, if a date is incorrect, it's very simple to change it. You simply just change the date. But more importantly, with dates and with things like correspondence, is the fact that now I can order my correspondence chronologically. I have two buttons over here. The guy on the left says order these by date. If I click it once, it does it from oldest to newest. If I do it again, it does it from newest to oldest, because it's a toggle switch. The guy on the right here says order it alphabetically. So if you want to sort from A to Z, you simply do that, or Z to A, you click it again. So the idea is that you can fire up your correspondence, you order in whatever way you want. Once you're happy with the reorder, like I am, let's say I'm happy with that reorder, I simply click save and it reindexes. So that's the idea. So just to recap what we've done so far, we create our workspace, which is step 1. We create our folders, which is step 2, pleadings, correspondence, whatever we want here. Step 3, we upload our documents. Now, in this instance, we upload them locally. I'll do it from Worldox the next time to show you exactly the same logic. And after we uploaded, we prepared and we moved things around the place and we manipulated. So we're in the preparation phase. Step 4, which is this guy, says, okay, let's generate a bundle for the very first time. And to generate a bundle, you simply click on this guy. Now, again, going back to templating, there's lots of options in terms of the look, feel, style, and how you customize your bundle. But and you can do it through here. Now, again, I'll ignore all the different options, and I'm going to simply just do V1 and simply click generate. And the idea is that because it's a cloud-based product, once you commit to generating, you can actually log out of BundleDocs. It's all server-based, so it'll continue generating in the background anyway. So you don't have to sit and wait for it. So if you're producing a bundle, let's say, I don't know, with 10,000 documents, it may take half an hour or an hour, but you don't have to sit and watch it. If you do sit and watch it like we are, when the process is complete, the first thing it does when it completes the process is it will check, are you still logged in? If you're still logged in like we are, it will open up in the preview to allow me preview the document. If I've logged out, it simply sends me an email. So the idea is that you don't have to sit and wait for anything like this. So in this instance, we've it's opened up my preview because it's spotted I'm still logged in. We haven't uploaded a cover page. We'll worry about that in a minute. And it's produced an index. Now, the index this is produced is what's known as the default index. This is the index BundleDocs produces if you don't select your own style of index. And I'll show you all sorts of different styles. You can have any style you want with any amount of columns in any way you want, depending on the court, your client, or whatever. But if you don't produce any style, it'll fall back on this style, which is pretty sad looking, but it's still an index. Everything is paginated, running consecutively. We can change our numbering style in a minute. Everything is hyperlinked. So as I scroll down, there's my section A index, my first document. Now in this instance, I've superimposed my number in the bottom right hand side, page number 1, page number 2, page number 3. If I and by the way, in terms of page numbering, we also do Bates numbering. Bates numbering is built into BundleDocs as well. If I scroll back up, if I select any item, if I click list of special damages, it brings me directly to that document. The real advantage and power of this is the fact that we can quickly and easily make changes. So for instance, let's say we want to upload some more documents. Now in this instance, I'll go back into Worldox. So I go back here. Now I've gone into the office here now because we have Worldox in the office. I'm inside my James versus Piper case, whatever, and I can select, say, some documents at random that I want to upload. Just to give you an idea here, I'll upload, say. So I select some documents. All I have to do to upload them into BundleDocs, I right-click on the selection. I click send to BundleDocs will appear here as your hook. I click on this guy. Now it says, are you sure you want to send the 4 that I've checked? Yes, I am, and I'll continue. Now, when you go to send documents from Worldox into BundleDocs, because BundleDocs is cloud-based and there's an API sits between the two products, and the API is split in two, and it says, here are the documents that you have selected in Worldox. Are these the guys that you want to send up into BundleDocs? You may want to change your mind and deselect. You may want to change the date in something. You may want to even change the order. I can put that attendance up here. So you may want to confirm the order and everything else like here. Over on the right hand side, it knows who you are. So I'll just widen this a bit just to give you an idea. Might look better if I just widen this a small bit. It says, these are the bundles that you're currently working on. Do you want to send it to one of these bundles? Or alternatively, on the fly, I could create a brand new bundle from within Worldocs. So I'm happy that I want to send it to Woods versus Trees. It says that's fine. In Woods versus Trees, under sections, I've pleadings, I've correspondence. Which do I want to send it to, or do I want to create a new section? So in this instance, I'll say, actually, I will create a new section. I don't know, let's call it reports. So I can create a section on the fly, or I can create a bundle on the fly. And the idea is that, so I'm going to say, the documents that I've selected, put them into the Woods versus Trees case that we're currently working on, and send it to the report section and simply upload. Are you sure? Yes, I am. Now, the key to this is that, oh, sorry, I should have logged in. So I must log in. Obviously, we'll have to be logged in. Apologies for this. And if I hope I get my password right. I click sign in. And obviously, if you're not signed in, it will not upload. So I'll sign in here. Now, the key to this is once I decide to upload, you can see they upload. Now, I don't have to sit and wait for these guys because it'll do it automatically. I can actually minimize it. So, I mean, I've only uploaded four documents, but I could minimize it and just work on, and that's the idea behind it. So the idea is that you can upload directly from BundleDocs or from Worldocs. So you select your documents, you right-click, you send to BundleDocs. You select the guys, you're happy that you've, whatever selection you've made, you tell it where it's going, your woods versus trees case, into reports, and you simply upload. And all you simply do is, if I just go back home, and you can see here now, you can see if I just refresh the screen, and here are my reports, and for some reason they haven't uploaded. Aha, 1 sec now. Just bear with me for 1 sec. We'll try that again. So these documents will simply upload, and we'll try again. And if not, preparing, bear with me for 1 sec. Preparing and working, and it should be uploading these guys now. Oh, I probably typed in the wrong, yeah. So if I go back into Worldox, and or into BundleDocs, and you can see my documents here on the report. So my 4 documents have been uploaded. Now, so I can make whatever changes. I can obviously, I could drag this guy up here and drag this guy down here. I can make all these changes, and I simply, happy with those changes, I click save to commit, I simply generate, and I run through this process again. Now this time, I can make changes. I could call it, say, version 2. I can do things like removing title pages. So I'll remove my global title page. Custom indexing, I'll come back to, and I'll show you different styles of index. But let's say you want to send it to council for advice and proofs, to opposing or to your council, you could apply draft watermarking. So you have the ability to apply watermarking. Annotations, I will also come back to. And styles, page numbering, you can have any style of page numbering you want. Typically over here in commercial law, we tend to have consecutive numbering. In litigation or dispute, we tend to restart our page numbering for each new section. In family and everything else, we tend to prefix or numbers with section letters. So you can have all different styles of numbering, and you simply apply it and generate again. So the idea is that it's simple to make changes, and you can customize and recustomize. But again, if you have a particular standard, you tend not to. You simply just click generate like I'm doing, and it just generates again. And the process is quick and it's easy. We'll just let that complete, and then I'll go to step 5, which is the final step. You'll be glad to hear. So you can see this is my bundle. We've removed the cover page. We've applied draft watermarking. Now we've changed our numbering style, whether that's your style or not. It's you can have your own style. So pleadings, correspondence, reports. If I click on any item, it brings me directly there, and that's the idea. The final step, which is step 5, traditionally step 5 was all about printing. Nowadays, we've different options. The first thing to note is that every time you generate a bundle, we keep a copy. It tells me who generated the bundle, when I generated the bundle, or when he generated the bundle, and who he generated for. So I can select any previously generated bundle, and I can obviously preview it. We've seen that already. I can also download it as a PDF to my desktop, because remember, this is all we're producing. It is simply a PDF that we can store back in Worldocs. I can scroll up, I can scroll down like any PDF. I can do Control and F because I can search the content. We've seen that. Everything is hyperlinked, but everything is also bookmarked. So if you look here at my bookmarks, you can see my index is bookmarked, my Section A pleadings index is bookmarked, my correspondence index is bookmarked, my reports index, and the documents within each section are also bookmarked. So I can navigate really quickly and really easily around my bundle, and that's the idea there. If I just close those current tabs, and I'll just minimize this guy. To the right of that, I now have the ability, traditionally again, you bound, you printed, you sent it out. Nowadays, using something like BundleDocs, I can forward this to any third party. Now, to forward a bundle to anybody, you simply type in who you want to send it to, and I'll send it to Lisa here, BundleDocs.com. Now, to forward to any person, whether it's the court, whether it's the outside counsel, whether it's your client or whatever, you simply type in their email address. Good policy is you send it always with a password. When you send it with a password, it sends 2 separate emails. The first email is the hyperlink of the bundle. So, and the reasoning behind sending a hyperlink is that you're not being restricted by the size of the bundle you produced. So therefore, when I send it as a hyperlink, once I click on the hyperlink, it downloads to my desktop. If you send it with a password, when you click on the hyperlink, it'll send an email containing the password. You'll be asked to type it in. Once you type it in correctly, it will download to your desktop. The only thing that we have found over this side of the water, let's say, is if you're sending bundles to courts, courts don't like passwords. So we tend to remove the password if we're sending it to a court, let's say. But if we're sending it to our client or anybody else, we tend to leave the password in. When you're sending it, you can set download limits. I could let this person download it 3 times. I can set an expiry date. I obviously tell them who I am, big long courtesy message. I can also opt into what's known as receive summary notification. All that says is if I send this bundle to this third party and I've opted in, it will send me an email of confirmation that I've sent it. It does not confirm that they've received it. So in a lot of instances, that's irrelevant. You don't need it. But if you want a record of the fact that you've sent it, then you opt in. In this instance, I'll opt out. So I click that, I'll send it, and that's gone. So that hyperlink is now gone to that third party. So if I go back to distribute, if I go back to forward, and if I go into my active download invitations, I can see that I've sent this bundle to Lisa at BundleDocs.com. 0/3 says she has not downloaded it, but she can up to 3 times, but it will expire on that date if she does nothing about it. But we can change our minds, so we can delete the link, we can stop it. If Lisa receives it and she downloads it, that number will immediately change from 0 to 1. But much more importantly is I'll receive an email of confirmation receipt. And again, that should be stored back in Worldox because that's your confirmation. That's like your registered post. Now, the only downside that we found over here is that when you're sending a bundle, in some instances, it's from a third party to a third party. If the recipient would prefer that the bundle comes directly from your own, let's say, Outlook account, your work account, then this button down here allows you to do that. In other words, you can send the hyperlink. It'll allow you to copy the hyperlink directly into your Outlook account, and you can send it from your own work account. So the idea is when you're forwarding a bundle to any third party, which technically you're not forwarding at all, you're sending a hyperlink to the bundle, you can do it from within BundleDocs or directly from your own Outlook account. Just moving on, OCR, we convert everything into searchable text, so just be aware of that. So when you are sending a bundle to somebody, it's searchable, and that's a standard that should be maintained. Other things to note, if I quickly move on to some of the more advanced features, just to quickly give you an idea. If I preview a document again, like we previewed earlier, we previewed a document, we looked up here, this top left thumbnail view allowed us manipulate the PDF in preparation of a bundle. Over here on the right hand side, there's a paperclip. Behind that are annotations. Typically, the things we do is we redact, we highlight, we comment, and we stamp documents. To redact anything, you simply click the redact button, and you select the body of text that you want to place the redaction over. Now, obviously, it hasn't redacted because we can see right through this. So, but we'll worry about that later. But what I can also do is I can search content. Now, because I'm in a notice of trial, I'm going to search for the word trial because I know I'll find it. But let's say you're looking for a witness or you want to redact some item of data. You type in the word, it will find it. If you think there's multiple occurrences in this document, you click highlight here and it'll find multiple occurrences of that word. If you wanted to search right across the whole bundle set for that word or that pattern, then you click all docs, but I won't do all here. And you simply click the redaction button and it'll find that pattern of text and place the redaction placeholder over it. Now, again, in a minute, we'll decide to commit to that or not. Outside redaction, I can highlight stuff, and I think we've all seen highlighters, so I won't concentrate too much on a highlighter. I think we've all seen those. I can also add 2 types of comments. If I click a comment or a note and it's got a yellow background, it's what's known as a public comment. Public comment, if I can spell, NT. If I click the comment button again and click the icon underneath it and it's got a white background, this is what's known as a private comment. Now, the reason behind this is that I can add comments, both public and private comments, and I can show or hide these when I generate the bundle, and I'll show you that in a minute. The other thing I can do, and this is important when you're doing your things like submissions or skeleton arguments, is where you want to reference exhibits or whatever. So you want to create hyperlinks within a bundle. So to create a hyperlink, you can, one example is I can highlight some text, and I'm going to give you a very bad example. Let's say I want to reference let's say Michael James has an exhibit document in this bundle set. So I can double click on his name, find my exhibit document if such a document existed. Let's say that's my exhibit. I click, I'll make it transparent and click on OK. That now creates a hyperlink from this point here to that document. So I can also build up my hyperlinking inside in BundleDocs. So if I now click Save, I go to Generate again. We call it version 3. Now, when I'm generating with annotations, if I go down to annotations, the idea is that when you're generating something in BundleDocs, you generate it in each instance with an audience in mind. So let's say, for instance, I was generating this bundle for the other side, or for counsel on the other side, acting on the other side. I could apply redactions, but I can remove everything else. If I'm generating for myself or somebody on my side, I obviously add my highlighting comments, but I will remove redactions. If I have private notes and I want to generate with my own private notes, I can add my own private notes. If I'm generating for council on my side, I would apply redactions, but I may apply them indicatively. In other words, council will be aware that this data is redacted, but they'll be able to see right through it. And that's the idea there. So I won't generate indicatively because I want to show you what it looks like, and I'll simply click generate. So the idea with BundleDocs, again, in each instance when you go to generate, you think about the audience you're generating it for, and you can produce the bundle for that audience, and you describe it, obviously, who you're generating it for. I'm just calling it woods versus trees at the moment. And I'll just show you what that looks like. If I will download it to my desktop as a PDF. And if I just open this up a bit, and if I go down to my bookmarks, because that's the most easiest way to navigate, and I go down to the notes of trial, and you can see now I've applied redaction here. I can't search behind it. I can't see behind it. It has burnt it onto it. It's also applied here, and that word and that word. You can see my public and private comments, my highlighting. But much more important is this. You can see this is changed out to hyperlink, and that is hyperlinking to that document down here. So the old way with a hyperlink is I'd navigate that way, and I'd work my way back up. The way we do it here is when you create a hyperlink, it also creates a bookmark. So I'm here in my notes of trial. I want to make reference. I click on the hyperlink. It brings me there, and I work my way back up. So the idea is that you can navigate really quickly and really easily. A few other items worth noting. Again, if you look at the output so far, the index looks pretty drab, to put it mildly. So as users, you can inject any style of index you want, any type of custom index. Now, a custom index is simply a Word document. And if I just show you one or two examples, a typical example here, let's say for our high courts, I'll show you our custom index where we do the first half page tends to be about the case, in the court, number X between this guy and that guy on a date. We've 4 columns, date column displayed this way, page numbering style. So we follow whatever court requirements are specified on it. One other quick example is, and I just put this together in my pretend case with kind of American style. Again, typical first half of the page of, United States, wherever, district of somewhere, between this guy and that guy. I have 5 columns in this instance. I also have a user-defined column, where I can type in who the party is, so whether it's the plaintiff or the defendant. You can see that's the idea. So custom indexing is all about the final production element of it and about making it look good. So it's easy to customize. And again, with custom indexing, we set all these up for you, and it just makes life easier. And it means that bundle you're producing looks good. It's a quality bundle. One other item worth noting, and again, this goes back to the cloud. When we logged in first, we mentioned the idea of internally collaborating. And the idea behind internally collaborating is you create teams, team members share bundles, so that's how we can work together internally. When we generate a bundle, we also have the ability to forward any bundle that we've generated to any third party, and we've seen that. We also have now the ability to externally collaborate. To externally collaborate with anybody is you edit the case in question here. So I'll edit Mr. Woods and have a collaborators tab. And the idea is that I can invite anybody from outside. So it's counsel on my side, it could be my client, it could be anybody. And I can invite them to collaborate on this case. Now, when you're collaborating externally, one, they don't need a license, they don't need anything to do with BundleDocs. You're simply sending them an invite and it's free to use for them. But you must be aware of the permission you're granting them. If you grant them analyst permissions and you send it to counsel, whatever, an analyst will have access to the Woods versus Trees case, and they can analyze and read the content of every single document. They cannot make any changes. They can't take away copies. They cannot produce a bundle. They can simply analyze. If I invite them as a downloader, it gives them a slightly higher level of access permissions. It means they can still analyze. They still cannot make any changes to a bundle, but because they've downloaded permissions, they can download individual copies of any documents that may be up there, and they can also download, say, a bundle you've previously generated. If you invite somebody on as a contributor, it means that these contributors can actually work on the bundle with you. So if you want to work with your client or counsel, they can upload their own documents, or in some instances, you may have a client, let's say employment law, you may have a client that has a string of emails that you need to get access to, in the case. You could create a bundle, invite them as a contributor, let them upload their own documents, and then you take control and order them. So just be aware that we can collaborate both internally via teams and externally via collaborators No, the difference with collaborators is that you do it on a case-by-case basis, but a collaborator does not have to be licensed. And finally, and I mentioned at the start, just to make your life easy, the idea is that you create templates. Just typically, like a typical personal injury template here, we pre-set up our folders, we pre-set up our numbering styles, we pre-set up virtually everything so that we present it to the user when they create a brand new bundle. If they work in the area of PI, it means these are pre-set up for them. We've decided our numbering styles, we've decided our practice styles, we've decided what our custom index looks like, and the user simply uploads their documents from Worldox, and they simply generate the bundle and do whatever they need to do with it. So in summary, the idea is that it's a cloud-based product that obviously collates documents, that produces a PDF document, which is a bundle, and the process in terms of usability, it's a 5-step process. You create your workspace, which is my woods versus trees, and you follow this pattern. So you create your folders, like I've done here. You upload your documents from Worldox or wherever. You place them, you order them, you manipulate them, you do whatever you need to do. You order them by date. You simply generate, you regenerate, and you distribute. And that's what basically today's webinar is about. It's producing bundles. That's it in a nutshell, guys. It's a fast run through. So if I hand it back to Hele, or if anybody has any questions, I'm happy to answer questions for anybody.
Brian, thank you very much.
Okay,
that was great. We actually have a question. It is, what is the minimum pricing for a small firm?
For a small firm, there's 2 entry-level pricing. There's for a small firm, you can have a single user license that allows you up to 5 bundles at any one time, and that's $50 a month. And these are monthly rolling contracts. But most small firms, what they do is they go for what's known as a 5-user license and a 50 bundle license. So what that means is that up to 5 users and up to 50 bundles at any one time can be created or whatever. So a bundle now is a case, in other words, woods versus trees. There's no limits on uploads or downloads or generation or whatever. And that's $99 in total a month. No, there's no other costs, there's no setup costs, there's no training costs. We do training online, we do everything. Everything is included in that. And it's a monthly rolling contract. So you're not tied into it. And that's the idea behind it. Like, we want you to use it, we want you to keep using it, but you're not tied into it. So $99 or $50 Hele, yeah.
Okay, that sounds great. And then, do you offer any free trials? And if you do, how long can people try out?
Yes, we do, and we recommend it, because I think if you're looking at software like this, you should be sure that it's something for you. We offer 30-day trials. It's free. It's unlimited. We do the training. We do the setup. We do everything. So it's a 30-day trial, and it's unlimited. And it's obviously, we hope that you throw your worst at it, so that you do check out that it works for you, and that's the idea behind it. But yeah, you have 30 free days.
Okay. So when you showed us how you can share and collaborate on the bundles, but if you create the bundle and you send it to someone, do they need to have an account to access it, or they can just download it without having an actual account?
Yes, yeah. When you forward a bundle to third party, you're technically you're sending a hyperlink. When they click on the hyperlink, it downloads onto their desktop as a PDF. So you don't need any software whatsoever in that instance. The other way is where you're a collaborator. You invite someone to collaborate with you here. Again, this person does not need a license. They get invited onto BundleDocs, and it's part of the product. So if you invite to the other side, or sorry, most likely your client onto it, they don't need any license at all. They're given a free license to access that case in question. So it's free.
Okay. Let's see. We just got another question in. It says, is there any way to include native file types in the bundle without converting the file to a PDF?
Yes, there is, and That's interesting. Yes, you have three different options. The default option that we use when we generate a bundle is that when we upload documents, we actually do two things. We convert it, we keep the original document, and we also convert the document into PDF. Now, in most instances, people want to use the PDF, but I can do a thing called generating as a source zip. And what that means is that I can actually generate a bundle where all documents remain in their native format. So again, you could be uploading voice files, video files, video evidence or whatever. So you can generate a bundle with multimedia files, and it'll allow that as well. Now, there is one other thing you can do, and it's happening here in the courts in the UK particularly, where you can say that you're producing a bundle and you want all your documents converted to PDF, but you don't want, let's say, Excel sheets, because they could be complex Excel sheets. So you can say document X to remain native format, all other documents to be converted to PDF. So you have a range of choices. So you can convert everything, convert nothing, or convert some to PDF. I hope that's not too complex now, but that's, yes, yes, you can.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right. Well, that can come in handy at times, because there are times you do need to send them the original file type. So that's good. Let's see, what else do we have? The other question is, are you seeing firms using this environment as a collaboration environment?
Yes, we are. I mean, it wasn't built originally as a collaboration tool, but because it's a cloud-based product, it does it naturally. So in other words, when we built it first, we looked at, say, our civil courts here, and it was kind of to replace the kind of manual process of collating documents. But because it's cloud-based, collaboration is naturally built into it. So people do use it to collaborate, and it works perfectly. So it's part of the product, whether you like it or not, and people use it for that. I mean, people use it to transfer large files, but people also use it to collaborate as well. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yes, it does lend itself nicely to that.
Yeah, it works perfectly. Yeah.
Let me see. I got something else in. Let me see. What does it say? Oh, can you? Do you see a use case for integrating this into Microsoft Teams? Is another question.
We've been asked about it, and it obviously makes logical sense, because again, it's a Microsoft product. We host this in Microsoft Windows Azure. We actually use Teams all the time. Well, obviously since COVID, the whole world seems to use Teams. So we are speaking to Microsoft at the moment, and it's something on our agenda, but not in the next 6 months. But we're well aware of the power it would bring to us to have it in Teams. Yeah, it makes logical sense. Good question, yeah. Actually. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, I'm just looking to see. I think, let's see, did something else come in? You're saying that it is a cloud-based program. Do you need to download anything, or you do not?
Absolutely nothing. I mean, basically, to set this up is as simple as you basically need to nominate an administrator. An administrator is someone internally in any practice that says they can invite other users, deny users access if somebody leaves the firm or whatever. There's no install. It's virtually install it, and that's basically it, and you're ready to use. Now, the only thing we would recommend is you should be trained to use it. It takes half an hour. We do it online. It's quite easy. We help you with custom indexing, and we show you how to use it, because it's not a rocket science product. It's not meant to be, but you want to be able to use it quickly and easily. But yeah, no install.
All right. Let's see. We just had one other question pop in. This is about the servers. Are the servers in the US, or are they all in the UK, or do you get to choose the location for storage?
Currently, in terms of storage, what you're looking at here is we don't have servers in the UK. Or servers are sitting in Dublin and in Amsterdam. They're in the EU. We also have servers in Australia. We will be putting servers in the US, hosted in Microsoft Windows Azure, exactly the same. So the user then will have the ability to select where they want to store their data. But currently, if you're storing your data, you're storing it in the EU, or if you particularly wanted, you could store it in Australia. But we will be spinning up servers in the United States. again, under the Microsoft
Okay.
Windows Azure framework. Yeah.
Okay. All right. That sounds great. I think we'll have everybody take another look at the presentation and learn more. I think we've gotten all the question answered. Is there anything you would like to add that we didn't get to cover yet?
Yeah, no, what I would say, if anybody does want to trial it or want to look at it, just contact Brian at BundleDocs.com at any stage, and more than happy to set you up and let you trial it. I mean, 30 days it should be enough to allow you kind of evaluate whether the product is of value to you. And we're obviously very, very interested to see how you'd use it, why you'd use it, the good, the bad, and the ugly of it as well, because we're obviously interested. So anybody get onto us are happy to help.
Okay. All right. So thank you, Brian, very much for sharing all the details about BundleDocs and how it can benefit an organization. We are going to post a recording of the webinar, so anyone who was unable to attend today, they can still take a look at it. Everyone who did join us today, thank you, and we hope that you'll join us again for another presentation in the technology series, and wish everyone a good weekend. And
thank you.
Brian, thank you again. And
thank you very much, Helle, and thanks, Ray, and thanks, everybody. Pleasure.
Thank you.
Take care.
Goodbye.
Bye. Bye.